Ever spin the dial, make a few contacts, and then just sit there thinking, all right, now what? That moment hits more hams than you think. You got licensed, figured out your gear, but now you need a mission. That's where awards change everything. Because right now you could be chasing all 50 states, working in 100 countries, activating parks, and actually building a log that means something. And with 2026 bringing some unique limited time opportunities, this might be the year you finally go all in. This is episode number 73. Hello and welcome back to the Ham Radio Guy podcast, broadcasting from the W0MET studios. And I'm Marvin, my call sign W0MET. And I'm glad you're here as we get ready for more amateur radio adventures. Whether you're tuning in for the first time or a long-time listener, thank you. Well, I started to record this a minute ago, and I looked up and it's like, I see no audio coming across. It's only playing. So I had to stop and start all over again. Good thing I was only about probably maybe 2.5 minutes into it. So I had not hit the record button. I apparently hit the play button instead. So, well, let's get into a couple different things here. First of all, if today's podcast is brought to you by Ham Radio Prep and World Radio League, if you're studying for your amateur radio license or looking to upgrade, Ham Radio Prep offers you easy-to-follow courses to help you succeed. And World Radio League is building the future of competitive amateur radio. Check them out and support the companies that support the ham radio community. Get a 10% discount when you use code HAMRadioGuy. So thank you guys when you guys go out and use them and use my discount code to save yourself a little money along the way as well. Well, before we get too far, I want to make sure you're subscribed to the show. That's the most important. Or subscribe to the YouTube channel because you can always pick up the podcast over there as well. You can find the Ham Radio Guy podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, or wherever you like to listen. And don't forget, you can also catch the video version over on YouTube. And my caveat to that is, I don't always do a video version over there, but you can listen to the podcast on YouTube. It does feed over to it. So when I have content to show on screen and on my monitors and I'm sharing screen stuff, I don't mind doing it then, but I have to set up basically 2 recordings. One, I use on my GarageBand because that comes through and I can split my files and really see everything I need to make sure everything's recording properly to the proper level. But then I also have like OBS where I record everything through for the video side. And that's how I get my screen content and stuff shared out. So, no real secrecies there. But since the podcasts are automatically fed over to YouTube, I don't really do a video version of it. I guess maybe if you'd like to see it, drop a comment, let me know. I guess I can do it more that way, but I kind of started doing it and realized how much more of a pain in the rear it was trying to do it twice. And then there's a video version and then just an audio version. So I don't know. Not sure what the right way to go there is, but just want to, put that out there. Either way, if you like the show or don't like the show, drop a comment, good or bad. I read them all. It helps the algorithm, gets the show in front of more hams, and keeps the community growing. And if you're enjoying the podcast, share it out in your socials and let people know you're listening to the Ham Radio Guy. If you want to take it even a step further, you can support the show through the affiliate links, always in the show notes over on Patreon. And you can go to patreon.com/the Ham Radio Guy. That support goes a long ways in helping keep the content rolling, upgrading gear, and bringing you more reviews, tips, and real-world ham experiences, meaning you actually get more videos on YouTube itself. And then there's something really special about this year, and I'm really, pretty proud of this, and it's pretty impressive that this year marks 5 years of the podcast in July. And what started as something, to do during COVID really has turned into a consistent bi-weekly show most of the time, with an incredible audience, more listeners, more subscribers, more supporters than I ever expected. And that's all because of you guys. And when I say because of you, it's 46 countries that I'm being heard in, that people are listening to this podcast around the world, which to me is absolutely remarkable. I put a little post out on LinkedIn this past week with that because, I've got over 27,000 downloads just through Podbean alone. And then, I see there's like over 20 some thousand. I don't remember, it was 25,000, whatever the number was over on Apple. So, that to me, it looks like there's two different platforms there. And, that's tells me it's probably over 50,000 downloads. So I think that's remarkable and something I'm pretty proud of, actually. So I thank you guys all for being listeners and subscribers. And, I really appreciate it. And I'm humbled by that. So just want to say thank you to all of those. Well, with that, let's go to the newsroom. Dayton Hamvention 2026 features a wide range of forums to appeal to amateur radio operators of all interest, experience levels, and ages. The Hamvention Forums Committee has assembled a diverse lineup covering technical topics, operating skills, and emerging interest areas. On opening day, Friday, May 15th, there are 22 forums beginning at 9:15 a.m. At 11 a.m., the ARRL, National Association for Amateur Radio, is sponsoring Salty Walt's Portable Antenna Forum. Salty Walt Hudson K4OGO will cover simple, effective antennas you can build and take to the park, beach, or summit and make contacts around the world. Among the forums on Sunday is POTA Hacks, little things that add up to big success, moderated by Michael Martins KB9 VBR, who will share some of his favorite parks on the air operating tips and hacks. Amateur Radio Software Award Committee is proud to announce that the HamLib project has been selected as a recipient for the 2026 Amateur Radio Software Award. This year's award honors the outstanding work of the current core developers, Nate Bargman, N0NB, George Baltz, N3GB, Danielle Forzi, IU5HKX, and Michael, I'm not going to try and pronounce the last one, OH3BHX. The annual ARSA Award recognizes software projects that enhance amateur radio and promote innovation, freedom, and openness in amateur radio software development. HamLib was selected for its long-standing and essential roles in enabling software to interface with transceivers and other controllable devices. For more than a quarter century, HamLib has provided a unified, reliable way to send control commands and read device status. Despite its age, the project remains actively maintained with new radios and devices being added regularly. HamLib continues to be the go-to library for both established and emerging amateur radio applications. And our third and final story for the week, ICOM will present the concept mock-up of the X026 as a world premiere at the Dayton Hamvention in 2026, one of the world's largest amateur radio events, held here in the United States from May 15th to the 17th. 2026 is dubbed as the concept mock-up. The radio appears to be a mobile rig based on the focus of a vehicle through most of the radio. Very excited about this radio, very interested in it, and could it replace my 891? It's very possible. If it's a good mobile radio like that, a VHF, UHF, and it's got everything in there and it could be 100 watts, I probably will go down that road. So we'll see where that turns out to be. But very excited about that one. And again, it'll probably be behind glass and everything. We'll see where it's at. But definitely be at Dayton myself. And that's very exciting I'm getting very excited about that. So looking forward to that. Well, that is all the amateur radio news we have with a release date of April 27th, 2026. It's now time for the Ham Radio Guy Joke of the Week, where Rick tells us the joke. The Ham Radio Guy Joke of the Week is brought to you by Ham Radio Prep. Now here is Rick Garrett, N9 GSU, with today's Ham Radio Guy Joke of the Week.
I was at a yard sale the other day, and apparently the husband was a ham radio operator because he had for sale an old ICOM 2AT. I loved those radios. The only problem was the volume was stuck on full. And I thought to myself, there's no way I can turn this down.
This has been the Ham Radio Guy Joke of the Week with Rick Garrett, N9 GSU. Turn in next week for another joke from Rick. HamRadioPrep.com, your fast track to getting licensed and on the air. Whether you're brand new to amateur radio or looking to upgrade your license, Ham Radio Prep makes it easy. Their online course are FCC approved, mobile friendly, and designed to help you pass your exam on the first try, even if you've never touched a radio before. Thousands of hams already passed with Ham Radio Prep, and I personally recommend it for anyone who wants to learn quickly and retain the knowledge that actually matters out in the field. Ready to become licensed ham or upgrade to general or extra? Go to hamradioprep.com and use the exclusive code HAMRadioGuy and check out to save on your course. Don't wait. Get licensed, get on the air, and join the amateur radio community today with hamradioprep.com. They have a great money-back guarantee. You can't beat it. Find the link in the show notes, and we'll go from there. Reach out to me at W0MET at the Ham Radio Guy. If you have any questions, remember you can find affiliate links and discounts in the show to all in all the episodes. Save yourself some money and help support the show at the same time. Well, with that, let's start to begin the content for this week and see where we go. Chasing the Contact, why ham radio awards might be the most fun you're missing. So that is my title of the show this week. Well, as always, I'm always here to help you get more time on the air. Whether you're brand new or you've been in the hobby for decades, today's episode is about something that can completely change how you operate. And if you haven't figured it out yet, we're going to talk about ham radio awards. We're going to talk about why they matter, which ones you should be looking at, and how they can take you from just making contacts to having a real goal every time you get on the radio. Now, let's start here. Some people hear awards and think, I'm not really into certificates. I don't need more paper. I don't need more trash. I don't, and I get that. How many plaques or how many certificates, how many QSL cards can you post on your wall, right? But I think you're missing the point. Awards are not really just about the paper. They're about a purpose. And when I think of this, it is, hey, I was able to make contact with all 13 colonies. I was able to make contact with all Route 66 stations. I was able to make contact with all these special event stations for whatever it might be. Museum ships on the, museum ships on the air weekend, a lighthouse, all the different areas that maybe a lighthouse might be around the country, around the world. And you're able to reach out into that certain long distance contact and make it. And it kind of shows that you were able to achieve that. Operating without a goal, it's easy to feel operating to feel randomly. You just turn on the radio, make a few contacts, log them, and be done. And you go, well, then what? So big deal. Made a few contacts. It doesn't really matter. I was able to just get on the air for a few minutes. Gave myself something to do, and it was no big deal. But kind of like I said in the episode for the QSL cards back then, that one little card can make all the difference in the world. When you get that card in the mail for a QSL card, you feel pretty joyous and pretty happy about that. And I think awards have that same type of kind of a little bit of adrenaline dump per se, maybe. Awards give you more than just, again, that piece of paper. They give you some direction, some motivation, and a reason to keep going. I think that's very true for me. Maybe that's not for everybody, but it kind of turns that casual operating into a mission. Now, instead of just calling CQ, you're hunting a Pacific state, a grid, a rare DX station, and planning when and where to operate. You can almost schedule it, and then suddenly every contact matters. If you're doing a contest and you're trying to win the contest, of course, every contact matters then. I haven't done a QSO party in months. I have not hardly been on the air in months. I've not done PODO in months. I've had some operating events I've been wanting to do, but life has kind of gotten in the way once again in getting other things accomplished. But I might have had a few things moving around lately as well. moving states, moving jobs, etc. So I get that, but I really need to get back into making sure I'm operating with a purpose and a schedule, and maybe even kind of put that in my schedule, because I run a pretty tight schedule. That's my days are laid out for me most of the time, and when I can, I try and put things into my schedule. Say, hey, I need to, from this time to this time, I'm going to be doing this, and one that kind of lets my wife know that yes, I'm going to be operating during that time. And I guess I'm getting a little squirreled moment on this, but my point is I'm just trying to schedule it, and it gives you a time and purpose to sit down and do it when you think you might have other things you want to do. But if you really kind of want to win that contest or win that award, it lets you know that, hey, this time I had something going on I wanted to do already. And, there's so many different awards out there that you can win. And there's no way I'm going to mention all these, but I'm going to mention a few of the bigger ones. And again, you can get certificates from, Route 66 and 13 Colonies, Museum Ships Weekend. And, POTA has all kinds of awards. QRZ has awards. ARRL has awards. And speaking of ARRL, they have some of the most probably iconic radio awards in ham radio. And, like Work All States, DXCC, those are offered by the American Radio Relay League. And, they're great, but I think you have to be a member to get those awards. And then they also cost you like $40-$50. And it's just a piece of paper when it's all said and done. Is that good or bad? I don't know. QRZ will do it. I think they charge like $25-$30 as well for the award, for getting it, shipped to you and printed out. And I'll admit, I've done the DXCC. I've got the Worked All States Award as well. And, I've got them in a frame ready to, and I paid some more money for the framing than I did for the award. Unfortunately, framing is not cheap, but it's a very nice framed, piece I did at Michael's. But I confirmed I made contact with all 50 U.S. states. Now you can do that on 20 meters and 10 meters and 15 meters and 17 meters and, 6 meters. And, you can go through all the different bands and get a sticker for each one. And, some of that may say, oh, that's pretty simple, but it's not as easy as you think. It takes a long time to do some of these. And if you're able to get on the air, again, that scheduling time and really concentrate on it, that's great. There are groups out there like Ole Miss or something that can help you. Different groups will help you make contacts with different states when you need them, or maybe you're looking for a Pacific grid. I think some states are rarely active. You look at, Dakotas, Montana, Wyoming. Some of those are kind of hard to catch. Maybe even Hawaii, Alaska, maybe for some people. There's obviously fewer people in those states operating ham radio, and it can be really challenging. And so unless you're specifically looking for, somebody in that area that you might be able to, know or get on the air with, it makes it a little bit more challenging to figure that out, and it could be, very hard to get those sometimes. But I think that also kind of makes it fun. So to see what you could do. I mean, I worked hard to get Bouvet this year, and I never could. I tried on FT8. I never heard him on single sideband at all. And so that was a little discouraging, but I tried really hard to do it. And with them working Fox and Hound, I know I had it set up correctly. I mean, I watched several videos on it, and I was just not able to get it. So it was pretty kind of disappointing, but I do enjoy trying to get different. Like every year, I achieve 13 colonies on single sideband. It's not always on 20 meters or 40 meters. I'll do a mix of wherever. But, I know there's also the digital version. You can go get the digital version, and then some people get them on CW as well. So I really like to be able to operate from, the different bands and the different modes. But I end up on 20 a lot for some reason. But I'm trying to do a better job in getting like 17 and 15 and some of these other bands. trying to play over there a little bit more and get operating some of these bands. But again, just sitting down, just operating and calling a CQ for, 15 or something, you got to know the band's open and the band is good. It could be a little challenging. So, but I guess, if you're up for the challenge, that's always the fun part of kind of earning the award too, is that, you put a lot of hard work into it. And when you have something displayed out on the wall and someone comes over and says, hey, what is this WAS award? Worked all states, you can be pretty proud of that. So tell them what you had to do to get there. Speaking of worked all states, the ARRL is celebrating the 250th anniversary of the United States this year, and they're rolling out a special anniversary award tied to working all 50 states. This may mean increased activity for you and special event stations, more chance to filling in those maybe missing states. If you ever thought about going for the WAS or Worked All States Award, this year might be one to do it. And I haven't really been into that myself. I've kind of got it already, but I think I might go back and try and get the 250th anniversary award to do it. I got to figure out what I need to do that, and I don't necessarily have that listed here. It wasn't really part of my content I was going to add into it, but maybe I probably should have. And I guess I can look and see ARRL 250th anniversary contest. Let's see what they have. So it's a year-long Worked All States operating event celebrating the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And if I remember right, you have to hit the W1AW in all states, contacting affiliated clubs, call signs in all 50 states, and are contacting all 50 states on CW, phone, and digital for a triple play. So it's a basic Worked All States award by contacting all 50 states in 2026. Endorsements contacting W1AW portable stations in all 50 states. There's a week-long activations of portable W1AW portable stations in all 50 states, potentially in several U.S. possessions territories. This will generate on-air activity to achieve the unique WAS award. For this operating event, ARRL will provide a listing of all W1AW portable stations who will operate for 7 days from Wednesday through the following Tuesday for 2 separate weeks of the year. An early week between January and July, and a late week between July and December. A few weeks will be listed as W1AW portable weeks due to contest and ARRL field days. So, I mean, there's a whole page on it here. Basically, go to ARRL.org, America /America250-WAS. So, a lot of information around that, but that's like any other ARRL word. You have to have a page and a half of more of information to get through it. And that's sometimes the frustrating part. But again, I think this might be the year to do it. You still have time. You're still early into the year. If you missed, some states that have done W1AW already, there are other times throughout this year, the latter half that they'll be doing it. So that's kind of a, cool thing though, getting, 250th anniversary of that. But QRZ's doing the same type thing. They have a 250 year award over there as well. So if working with all 50 states is the national challenge, then we got to go make this bigger. And I got to go bigger. Oh, yeah. DX awards are the global version. And the big one here always is the DXCC Century Club, also from the American Radio Relay League. Again, that is confirming contact with 100 different countries. And you can go through and do the 20, 40, 10, 40, 20, 10, 15, 20, 17, 12 meter bands, all those. You can get through all the different bands. And, I think that's pretty cool as well. Because that's not only just chasing the countries and trying to figure them out, but it's chasing propagation, learning some band openings, and listening for rare stations, and, log that new country. You kind of feel like a win. And you also have to sometimes learn geography at the same time, because you go, where in the heck is that at? You have no clue what country you just, made contact with. Sometimes you might be familiar with it, but other times I know there's little islands and stuff I've looked up and going, I have no clue where that's at. And it's like, oh, wait, that's over off the coast of Europe, or that's off the coast of Africa, or something like that. Some small little island of some sort. But, this requires patience and timing and, some operating skills and things you have to figure out as well. So, but part of what I'm encouraging this year is helping you become a better operator. And that's some of my Shack Smarts podcasts that I've done. And I think, those are good operating tips to have. And I think a lot of the things I'm providing for podcasts this year will help you become a better operator. So, I think those are always fun things to be able to do as well. Now, moving away from ARRL, there's other entities out there that you can get awards from. And probably the fastest growing part of the hobby right now is Parks on the Air. It's not just an award program, it's a movement. You go look at POTA numbers every month, and they are just incredible. How many people are activating parks, how many QSOs are being logged, and how many, people are just getting out and doing this. It is incredible, and it continues to grow. It just doesn't stop. So with POTA, you can activate parks, and you can have a hunt at the activators. You can hunt those activators that are out there in the park working. So you get awards for that. So you can earn awards for both. So you can be a hunter or you can be an activator. And that's pretty cool. I've done a little bit of both. I have not done a lot with parks. And I'd probably say February is my last one I did. And, there's just a ton of them out there. You can find them, around your back door almost. And then you also want to look for, besides the number of parks activated or the number of contacts made, you want to look for unique parks. And sometimes you get people operating like special big parks like Yellowstone or Denali or Mount Rainier or Acadia National Park or, any of the other more major ones that you can get into. Maybe a national monument like the Arch. And those are pretty cool too. Now, you don't get awards for those, but I think it's pretty cool when you can say you've either activated or hunted those parks. And, it's those awards can be based on sometimes like time of day. You might do late shift award. You might get the New Year award for working a park as an activator in the first week of the year. Sometimes it might be you have 1,000 contacts in a park and get the Kilo award. When you've operated 50 unique parks versus 75 unique parks, you get additional awards for those. And just so many different awards you can get out there. And those are, simple little paper certificates, but they're kind of cool, actually. They have some neat looking ones that are out there on the awards site. And I guess I could have brought mine up and showed this as part of the podcast today, too, and did a more video side of this. But I really wasn't thinking about that at the time. It just came to my mind just now. But, the part that makes POTA different is it kind of combines awards with experience, and you're not just logging the contacts. You're having to travel, you're setting up in the field, operating new environments, and that kind of becomes part of those experiences. And I think that's just really neat to be able to do that, and provides a lot of different opportunities for one. So, I've operated, I'll be operating Denali National Park this summer. I've done the Redwood National Forest. I've been out in Acadia, and, don't necessarily get awards for those, but those are just really cool parks that I've been a part of. And that's part of that experience that, I wouldn't have probably gone there or been there if it wasn't for POTA, for kind of wanting me to go there and do that. So, well, with that, I'm going to need a break of water. My mouth's getting a little dry today, but, let's take a break here. Don't go anywhere. We've got more to talk about on remote operation on awards coming up right after this. Word from ABR Industries right here on the Ham Radio Guy.
Looking for top quality cables that you can trust? ABR Industries has you covered. Proudly American built and reliable, ABR Industries delivers premium coax cable and connectors for all your communication needs. Whether you're a ham radio operator, work in broadcast, or manage critical infrastructure, ABR ensures that you are connected when it matters most.
And it has such tremendously different characteristics.
From static to clarity, ABR products. Built tough, built here, built for you. ABR Industries. American built and reliable. Visit abrind.com today and experience the strength of superior connectivity. It's the only coax here in the W0MET Ham Shack. Use code SAVE10 Ham Radio Guy. ABR Industries, where reliability meets performance. All right. Welcome back to the Ham Radio Guy. Hopefully my throat's a little bit better now. I'm excited to have you listening. Before we continue this discussion, I'd like to be able to get a quick shout out to the Patreon supporters. You guys make this podcast possible. Also, be sure to follow us over on social media for the latest updates, exclusive content, and peek behind the scenes, content as well. Well, let's get into our next segment, talking about these awards. And we're going to talk about something even newer. Maybe not. Maybe QRZ awards have been around a long time, but I guess I've never really thought about it until probably the last 2 years. And if you're uploading all your contacts to QRZ, which I do, you can go in there and go to your account if you have like a subscription base, and that's about $30 a year. It's well worth it. And you can look at all your awards that you can qualify for and get. And it kind of tells you an idea. Hey, I'm missing a lot on 15. I'm missing a lot on 10. But you can also get like worked all states, DX achievements, and get very banned in Pacific modes as well. And again, probably where I should have gone online here and showed this and showed my logbook a little bit. Again, that did not dawn on me until late in the show here, obviously. But it's all automated. It's all really easy to get to, and it can be really a lot of fun to see. And I don't know if I can pull it up myself real quick and just see if I have QRZ. I do have QRZ up. So, they have the award certificate for World Radio Friendship, World Continents, Grid Squares, DX100, operating a certificate for 30 years of being QRZ, United States Counties, United States Awards for all 50 states, a Master of Radio Communications, Europe and South America, the 12 Days of Christmas, 12 Days of QRZ, that's usually around Christmas time, which is pretty cool. They do those every year. And they've got the 250th anniversary of the United States of America as well. And then the Master of Africa and Oceania Community. So let's go see what the one for 250th anniversary is. They don't really have much about it there, what the requirements are. And let's see if I can go back into my page specifically. So I can go into my logbook. Come on. Why am I not? Come on. My logbook. And let's go look at awards. So pull that up. So let's see, 250th anniversary award. So it's analyzing for me quick, and I've got it. So I've got the 250th anniversary United States of America award from the QRZ, but it shows me I did a lot on 20 meters, some on 40. I've got some on 20 or 15 meters, and even one on 10 meters. So I've got a little variety across the board, but I've got a lot confirmed, but there's a lot not confirmed. And that's the frustrating part, is people not confirming their contacts over on QRZ or, through Logbook of the World. And all of my contacts, maybe not currently, they may not be all uploaded to QRZ, but I've got United States Award. It's going to take a second to analyze this. Showing I've got all 50 states here, and I've got a big mix of that, and all those are all nicely confirmed, which is really cool. So the U.S. is really good about it. Shoot, I just went back to the wrong page. There we go. Next award. Let's see. I think I've got a Grid Square Award. let's see what this one is. It says 559 out of 100 entities for grid scores. So, but I got pretty much from like maybe mid Kansas all the way over to Maine and down to Florida. I've just got a few little circles of grids that are not covered there, but a majority of them are, I've got EM44, EM42, EM41, 61, some up in like Upper Michigan, EN64. I don't know exactly where that one's at. Must be like part of Michigan as well, maybe Wisconsin, somewhere in there, right around Canada. But I've got northern Minnesota to do, and then I've got the eastern or the western half U.S., and that's a little bit more bare. That's pretty random throughout, but it's not bad. So that's kind of cool. And let's see what other big awards I got in this list here. Let's go Europe. So Master of Radio Communication Europe. So this one says I have 100 out of 666 done too. Let's see what other word. Let's go Radio Communication North America. That award I've got done. That's 68 out of 49 entries. Sometimes I don't really know what all these. Oh, let's see details. Let's click there and see what that goes. Doesn't really tell me what I need to be able to get that. And let's go Asia. So how many of Asia I've got? I've only got 15 out of 54 entities in Asia. So I'm missing a lot of Asia still. So, like Nepal and Iran, Turkey. I don't have a lot of contacts from Myanmar. So a lot of different contacts out there I don't have from that side of it. United States County Awards. Let's see how many I've got there out of this. Actually, I got more out of here than I got. So I got 939 out of 100 entities, but it doesn't show me 104 confirmed QSOs were not eligible for this award. So QRZ cannot assist with correcting these contacts. So coming on my logbook, but yeah, I don't have it doesn't show it only shows Delaware, 3 out of 3 counties confirmed on that one. So I don't know what's going on with that one. That seems like that's a little goofy, but I definitely can purchase a certificate. And if it shows me which ones I can qualify for. So it's I've got 18 different certificates that I can qualify for there out of QRZ. World Radio Friendship Award. I don't really know what that one is. Again, I don't know what some of these awards through. I mean, obviously they, grid squares or world continents, you get some of those through QRZ, but I haven't really figured that out. So what the requirements are to get some of those. And that's the tough part. So, and I've had a hard time with that before, but again, it's all automated. It's really easy to do. You're uploading all your logs anyway, to QRZ. It's my cloud backup per se, and it really tracks your progress. So it's something really cool to have. And it's really neat. World Radio League is another one. They've got some platforms that they're starting to integrate some logging and some real-time tracking, and they're potentially looking at getting their own award system as well down the road. Now, something that they have currently, but this is they're trying to build this into your operating workflow. So there's really no extra steps that you have to do, no manual tracking you have to do. Just operate, log, and progress, and win those different awards. And again, some of them are really cool. I did do the ARRL again, DXCC and WAS award because I just wanted to be able to get those on my map, on my wall. I think those are really cool awards to have, to say I've done it. But now I need the sticker for each, like 10 meters, 15 meters, 20 meters, 40 meters, 80 meters, etc. 80 meters may be a little tough to get that one, but people do it. And so, we have those different entities like ARRL, World Radio League, QRZ that do awards for you. But, you can also get awards through, get a certificate through 13 Colonies, Route 66, museum ships. And I know there's others out there. Winter Field Day has a certificate you can get every year for doing the different challenges that we give you that we, vary from year to year. And we'll put the number of contacts or QSOs you made on there as well. So a lot of different options you can go to get certificates but again, it's giving you that mission and a purpose to be able to operate. But you can't just go all in on this, I don't think. You have to kind of, you can't just go try and do everything all at once. You've got to pick something that fits your operating style, your equipment, your interest. If you start going and trying to do contests and doing every, QSO party across the country for different states, you're going to become overwhelmed. But I think as a casual operator, if you start with like worked all states, if you want to get into a more global level, you try DXCC. And, if you're already uploading your logs to QRZ, maybe you try to upload to Logbook the World. I know it's a pain in the rear, but you might be surprised. You might already have awards out there you've earned you don't even know. You don't even realize. If you love being in the outdoors and you want to earn awards there, go do POTA. I think that's a great way to go. That POTA is perfect. It's an easy way to start in if you're just getting started. And if you want to, do some digital ones, I know there's other digital awards out there. I'm not as familiar with them, but I'm sure that again, you can go do digital and get that through ARRL or QRZ. Those are great ways to start out as trying as well. But it's not just about earning the awards, but staying engaged in the hobby and doing it with some fun and purpose and seeing and showing others what you're doing and going, man, you've worked all 50 states. You've talked to somebody in every country, every county, or every state. It's like that's pretty cool. So, as I get into this, you're turning every contact into a mission, into a more than just, I'm allowed to contact, big deal. You now have a goal and you don't have to worry about the contacts feeling so random out of the blue. And it becomes a part of something bigger that you're trying to accomplish. And you go, man, I really need Alaska. And Hamler is a perfect program for that. You can go put in, I need to go put in these grid squares I'm missing. I see on QRZ and go, I need EN 41, 44, 46, whatever numbers might be. And you go, wait, I'm missing Montana. I go look at the parks in the air and go, man, I've not worked Washington, D.C., Louisiana, Mississippi. I've not worked Wyoming, Montana on parks in the air. So I need to go find a way to make a travel and go out and operate those states. And that's exactly what I do. I go, hey, I'm missing these states for operating POTA because I want to operate in all 50 states. And so I know which ones I've done and which ones I haven't. And that gives me a reason to go do it. And suddenly you're not just operating, but you're chasing something and you're having a lot of fun doing it. And that's the cool part. So as with most of my podcasts, I have a challenge for you. Pick one award and start working towards it this week. No matter what it is. I'm going to do 12 POTA, worked all states, contacting W1AW stations, getting an 250th anniversary award, whatever it might be, all 50 states, 100 countries. Are you going to do it on digital? Are you going to do it on 2 meters? On 2 meters, on HF, or are you going to do it on, CW? Set the goal and watch how it changes you operate. You'll see that difference. I'd love to hear what you're chasing. I want to know what type of words you're going for. Drop a comment, send me a message, share your progress. I'd love to be able to share some of this stuff in a future upcoming episode. If you enjoyed this podcast and this one talking about awards, make sure you go subscribe, share it with a fellow ham, keep pushing yourself on the air. Contacts are fun. They're what makes the ham radio journey memorable. I can tell you a story when I was talking to somebody. I think I was at home, and the guy was out in a kayak in the middle of California. We worked like hell to make that contact, but we made that contact with him out in California in that kayak, and we made it. It was rough. It was hard to hear him. We had a lot of noise at level, but you know what? I remember that contact probably. I bet it's been 5 years later. Every bit of it. I can go find the card. I have the card still. I have the QSL card from him. That's one I keep. I really enjoy. But it is a super cool story that I don't know why I remember that one. I've made a lot of contacts with a lot of different people, and sometimes I get QSLs in the mail, and it's like, I don't remember who this guy is. I have no idea. It's like, all right, send my card back, So, and I'm due a lot of people cards right now, actually. I still have not got my card's kind of half designed, but I need to find a way to get it printed and do something a little bit more with it. But anyway, but the QSR that's a whole nother segment, a whole nother podcast I've done before. Go listen to it. I think you'll find that interesting as well. But that's where it's all at. Well, a big thank you to all the Patreon supporters for making the Ham Radio Guy podcast possible. Your contributions help keep the content coming and the mics on. If you're looking for all things ham radio, visit our Patreon page over at patreon.com/the Ham Radio Guy. You can find exclusive content, product reviews, exclusive blog posts, and much more. Stay in the loop by joining our conversation over on Twitter or Instagram, and check out the latest tips or tricks in ham radio, and see what you're missing. We've got you covered. We try and bring you all the latest information as we find out. And thanks for just being a part of this community and sharing the love of ham radio far and wide. Well, this week, we're going to talk about some special event stations that are coming up here very soon. The first one being May 3rd, 2026. And that's the IndyCar Grand Prix, race 5-3 of 26. The IndyCar Grand Prix will be, again, on the air. And don't have a lot of details around that, but if you're looking to operate that special event station or get a certificate or a QSL card from them, that will be the one to go look up and find. So that would be a perfect way to do that. Another special event station for National Police Week, and being former law enforcement, I had to share this one out. That's May 10th through the 16th. This is an event where we thank all police service members for their often very dangerous job they do to protect everybody on a daily basis. It's a job where each time you leave their homes to go home, they don't know if they'll return or not at the end of the shift. Yet they do this job every day, keeping us safe. And we wish this opportunity to honor and thank them for working to keep us safe. So that will be happening on May 10th through May 16th, a special event station for National Police Week. So very cool there. Obviously, special event again, Summer Field Day, June 27th and 28th. If that's not on your calendar yet, a good time to put that on. And then 13 colonies, again, talking about awards. And looking to get work all 13 colonies can be very challenging. It's a daunting task as a operator to be able to do that. I've done it twice. And they'll be working July 1st through July 7th. So go get that certificate and check out 13 colonies as well. Well, that's it for this week's episode of the Ham Radio Guy. Thanks for tuning in and being part of the conversation. Don't forget to share your thoughts, questions, or stories. Email me or connect with me on Twitter and Patreon. And if you enjoyed the show, leave a review, share it with a fellow ham, and help grow the community. And if you're enjoying the podcast, consider supporting us over on Patreon. Until next time, 73 and happy hamming. Keep those antennas high, the signal strong, and I'll catch you on the next episode of the Ham Radio Guy. Take care.